Hey, this is Myke from the Jailbirds. I'm here today to talk about our song, Your Love. Your Love is probably our oldest song. If not, it's Watery Grave, but I remember playing that one years and years and years ago in a small bar in Hamilton, Ontario, and we were doing a cover gig or something, and we would sprinkle in our originals and stuff. And I remember playing that one, and everybody just sort of got up and started dancing all of a sudden. It was really cool, and that was the moment where we all kind of looked at each other and went, "Oh, maybe we should record this one, and maybe there's something to it." Because it's a simple song, a few chords, nothing crazy going on in that way. And we didn't think much of it, honestly. Like a lot of our songs in the beginning, we were just sort of writing what we thought sounded good to us, and then it was cool to see that response. And since then, it's turned into a sort of a staple for our live set and everything. And it's a challenging song to actually perform because of the vocals for me, but it's just one of those ones that it has that certain kind of tempo to it where it's like that stink face sort of tempo riff and stuff like that, and it's not only fun to play, but it's fun to see the reaction of the audience with that one too. It's a real hip shaker, if you will. And it's just a classic rock song about attractiveness, and it's very bare bones and to the point. You know what I mean? I think it's like a 3-minute song or whatever, and it's really lean like that. And production-wise, that one, I think, we recorded it years ago now, actually. All these songs, we recorded them in 2019. We started recording them and got the bed sessions together at that time, late 2019. I think it was November. And we got everything together, and then over the beginnings of 2020, we finished the guitars and the vocals and all that stuff. And then obviously everything happened that year, so it got pushed back a bit. We had our Jungle EP. It was recorded at the same time as all that stuff too, I should mention. And I should also mention it was at EMAC Recording Studios that we did all this stuff with Matt Grady, our producer. And we've done everything that we've released so far there. Great team. I know them. I went to Fanshawe College, and I know the guys from there. They were my professors or whatever, and that's how we knew of that studio and got in there. It's such a great place. It really is. They've got such great gear, and it's a great vibe. And obviously the sonics in there are just incredible. It's why we kept going back. And it's a fun song to record. I remember our buddy Jeff recorded drums on this one at the time. We didn't even know Kevin at the time before when we recorded the drums. So I just remember this so clearly. We're in there with Matt, Jeff's playing, and there's the second verse where he does that kind of snare shuffle thing. And that was an idea of Matt's, and he just went on the mic and was like, "Hey, what if you try this like shuffle thing?" And before he even got the whole idea out, Jeff was just like this, and he just nailed it. And he was like, Matt, he laughed. He was just like, "I'm just gonna go home. Like, don't even need me here." It was brilliant. It was that whole session. I think it comes through in the song, that kind of stuff, because we were having so much fun. And it was just, there was no worry about anything performance-wise or, it was just creativeness, and it was fun, and it was cool, and we had a good time recording it. One thing actually pretty cool about this song, that guitar riff actually started off on a keyboard. Our buddy Evan, who we used to jam with back in high school and everything, that's what I mean, this song is very old, like it's 15 years old or something. And he started playing that on the keys, and we're like, okay, this is sick. And it just sort of happened where it transposed over to guitar. I don't remember how or anything, but there is keys on the song. But yeah, that riff was a keyboard riff, and then I had the verse bit. I'm talking about the intro riff, that whole bit. But then the verse riff, I just had that lying around, I think, and we put them together and we created the song. And put the chords behind, whatever those chords worked with that main keyboard riff thing, and that was the song right there. Another story of recording this one, the bass tone actually is like such a big, fat, huge bass tone on this one, which is it's great. It's really cool. And to get that, we had I think it was 4 amps running. So it's it's funny because to think about it, all the memes online of bass players just plugging in direct or whatever, you might think, people think that's how it's done or whatever, and it's truly not. You gotta do it just like guitars and drums or whatever, and vocals and stuff. You gotta produce the sonics of it or whatever, the sonics of it. And I remember we had, Liam's live rig, which is this exact cab actually behind me, and his Trainer YBA 300 amp, that with a rat pedal or something. And then we had my old bassman was in an ISO booth. I think we had that through some sort of, it was an 18-inch speaker, I think, and we just dimed it, and it was that was huge. And then we also had, we had a direct line with the Sans amp, and then we had, what else was there? There was one more. Oh yeah, it was an old Ampeg, the B15, I think, the 15 watt little combo guy, and that one was just completely clean. And then that added together was the tone for the bass on that one. I love the bass tone on that one. It just has such a mood to it, and it's really great. And then guitars wise, those sessions I ended up using my Gibson Explorer that you might have seen me play live, but it's the brown one I always play. That one was the main guitar for everything. It always beat the other ones I had. I actually ended up selling other guitars because of it, because it just, it's why do I even own these? The Explorer is perfect. And I don't know if the solo or anything or the lead lines, that might have been my Strat, just for a different guitar or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But I remember just that Explorer through my Morris amp, and there was a Marshall JCM 800 combo that Matt owns at the studio. We had a couple other amps too. I think we used a Diesel, an Einstein or something like that, through a Diesel 412, and that was our tightness, There was one more too we used. Might have just been those 3, but we had a wall of amps. And if you deep dive on our Instagram or something, I'm sure you can find that photo of the wall of amps that we had for that session. But we ended, it's we always start with too much, and then you strip it down to what it actually needs. And it was the Morris, of course, and then I think it was the Bassman. That's what it was. I just remembered the Bassman, the Marshall, I said, and then the Diesel as well. So all those put together was that guitar tone. Vocals wise, yeah, this one was, I always wanted to sing like that, and kudos to my vocal coach Jason, who helped me get there. The stuff that I wanted to do on this song, I went to him and I was like, how do I do this properly, right? And Jason's really great at that kind of stuff, and he just showed me what to do and everything like that. And like I said, it's a challenging song to sing live and play at the same time, of course, because you gotta have a lot of focus on those high notes and everything. But yeah, it's such a great kind of feel good, happy vibe song, and it's a pleasure to play it. And I'm actually really excited that it's finally released and everything too. For this EP, we've had the single out for a bit, but this EP is actually a remaster of it, so it's a little bit different sonically in that regard. It has a little bit more beef to it, I'll say. It's just thicker, and it's great. And it's just Rob Nation is our mastering guy, and he sent me that, and I was like, what the fuck? This is he mastered the other single too. I don't know what he did differently on this time, but it was incredible. And yeah, really stoked that it's out now. Stream it on wherever you stream your music.
You